You can let us do what we want to do. Or you can die.
Maybe that's better than watching.
No, it's not. It is not worth.
Blue runs up to Addie, helps him stand up. I think they get an arm around Addie's back and begin to move away from the dims towards Anames, away from Mirror. And you see back in the space with the holocron and those two tines poking up out of the center of this, that electricity is just jolting across the ground, and you see Selyar Sanlev reach up a hand and touch it, and it doesn't hurt him. It just sort of moves across his skin, and you can see as some of the hair on his head just slightly stands up just a little bit, and he's smiling, and you see Rentha Gregor begin to walk down those stairs, pushing the other dims out of the way.
Mir rips the pillars up and away.
Let's get a roll.
Let's see how many you can come up with. 1 and 1.
What are you going to do with those? Also, look at all those light side points you have.
I know. Yeah, it's one light side, 1 dark side.
Yeah. So how many pillars can you rip up?
How big are the pillars? Like silhouette zeros? Like droid size?
They're silhouette zero. They're tall, but they're thin. I think they're the size of, like, I don't even know what you call them. Those cement things in parking lots that stick
the
up.
pylons?
Yeah.
They're just little pedestals.
I can grab 4 of them.
You could grab 4 of them for two pips.
Increase their size, so basically, how many can fit in a silhouette 2, right?
I suppose.
So
there are more than 4.
Massive. Okay.
But what do you do to the nearest 4 pillars?
I think with Mir thinking mechanically, he thinks of how it's all arrayed, and if he can pull up some of the pillars in a certain way, he can disarm, not necessarily disarm, but disrupt the flow of how things are going. And he reaches out and thinks of it as like a computer system, and finds the electrical flow and rips up those pillars. And I think he brings them, reaches out a hand, lifts them up, and brings them to him.
Excellent. Anames.
Trying to think what will be most useful, what I can do that will actually do what she's help the most with what she's trying to do, which is basically get as many people away as possible. Because as long as we've got chunks of rock falling, that's danger. If this place would stabilize, she would just leave. She would take Blue and Addie and leave.
When do you cut your losses and take Blue and Addie and leave?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, at this point, she's definitely... I think she's going to kind of motion for them to stay behind her, take a step back, and she's not even speaking to Ozum at this point. She's going to start talking to the rest of the Dims, and I think it's probably going to be Charm. I'm wishing I could incorporate lore with that somehow.
Charm, huh?
And yes. But I'm wishing there was a way I could mix that with lore. Because she's trying to draw on her expertise, like what she knows of the Force, combined with what's happening and what she can sense. And use that, convey to that knowledge, you're in danger. This place is a danger to your life. If you follow me, I can keep you alive.
Is that a leadership check?
Ooh. Oh no! Okay. Man, I am so going to have to flip for this.
Or if you could spin it using lore, as in, this is a Sith temple, it's made to consume life, not give life.
Yes.
You will be consumed. Coercion?
Yeah.
Well, I like that.
Ooh,
The
that
threat, if you stay, you will be consumed.
if you stay, the temple, if you stay, this pyramid itself, I wish you no harm, but if you stay, this pyramid will kill you. Follow me, and I can keep you alive.
And look, the pillar's already moving.
Selyar Sanlev, standing on the opposite side of the dims, silhouetted by this lightning. He's got his arms outstretched, and he says, "This is true power. Do not listen to those fools. When power is at your fingertips, it is almost ours."
He will sacrifice all of you if it means he gets an ounce more power.
It's going to be
He's done it before.
your coercion against his leadership.
Nice.
Which is
2 reds and a purple. My people, we have put so much work into this. Your blood and sweat.
Can I get a boost for the fact that we have rocks falling out of the ceiling?
Yes. And you have a setback because this is, once again, 15 years worth of work. Think of the sacrifices you've already made.
Don't forget to flip.
Oh, I flipped.
Oh, no, good job. Well done.
You fools, he says as people begin to run towards the edges of the pyramid. Ozum stands his ground, but some of the other dims have given up. Blue says, "We need to get out of here now."
Let's go. If you want power, life itself is power enough. There is no power in death.
You hear laughing from inside the pyramid. And you hear that hum and rumble from inside again, stronger than ever. The red takes over those white geometric shapes on the ground and spreads out further and further. Mir, you hear that crack again, but it's not the Kyber, as Ozum drops his lightsaber and it fizzles out on the ground, and he drops to his knees, his hood going over his head. And when he looks up, you see sunken features like the life has been drained out of him. And Rentha Gregor walks up the opposite side of the stairs and begins to move towards the group of you. And I think as you felt that laughter, there was almost hunger. Not that Mir feels that, but if it feels like there was something empty inside of, almost like something was beginning to empty him.
Can I roll a move real quick?
What do you want to move?
The lightsaber that Ozub dropped.
You want a third lightsaber?
Not for me.
You can try. This is the loosest initiative I've ever had.
That's 2
lightsabers.
lightsabers. So I am going to pull that and hand it to Blue.
Okay. Anames feels the Force like colors, like artwork. What is it like in this space when she tries to reach out to the Force to aid her and pull this lightsaber to her?
It's dark, thick, like
muddy colors.
half-dried, think like half-dried black paint.
Mm-hmm.
But she is able to find like just a couple traces of like this bright, faint but bright, like a yellow light.
Well, because black is just all the other colors.
It's all the other
somewhere
colors.
In there. Yeah, somewhere in that mud.
But it's also what you see when there's no light left.
Yeah.
When everything is sucked into a vacuum.
And you reach out and pull that lightsaber from where Ozum dropped it, and it flies to Blue's hand. And they say, "I don't know how to use this."
Do you know how to use a knife? Or any other kind of blade?
Yes.
It is similar. Work with it and it will work with you.
Rentha Gregor is slowly walking towards the 4 of you.
Mir looks to Ozum and goes, "I told you so." Then he looks to Rentha and goes, "What have you become?"
So much more.
Is her voice kind of echoey?
It's not echoey, but it's louder.
Mm-hmm.
And as she walks towards you, that golden eye, the electricity from this thing connects with her and jumps from her eye around and touches her cheek and shoulder, and it moves down her arm to her hand, where it twines in between her fingers.
Since Mir, when he sees a force, he sees more electrical currents and things like that. Is that like almost like a black electricity, or is it just raw, uncontrolled?
It's like those lines on the surface that you're standing on. It's white hot, but almost red at the edges.
Mir turns his dome around and looks at Aname's blue and his rest on Addie and says, You have to go now.
We can't leave without my mom.
Your mom is a consuming thing of the Force now. She is what sucked Ozum's life force. She's sucking my life force. And if you maintain your footing here, she will consume all of our life force, especially yours. Go.
Come. As she turns to leave, to usher those who will leave with her, she looks back at Renfro and says, No, you're not more. You're less. Because now you're empty.
Blue comes with Anames. Addie hesitates.
Addie, if you stay, you'll die.
I'll flip a dark side point. The ground beneath you shakes again. You see Selyar Sanlev begin to move down those stairs, and you feel as this pyramid begins to rise. The rumbling grows louder in the chamber, echoing off the hard walls. The scaffolding that connects the pyramid to the passageway that Mir came down begins to move with the pyramid, and some of it down below begins to fall off.
Anames puts the guard shadow back on her belt and grabs Addie's arm and turns to leave.
And Blue grabs Addie's other arm and moves with you.
And Mir grabs all of you and throws you down the tunnel.
Let's get a roll.
Including the rest of the group that's with us, or is this
the dim scattered? They went down every possible exit.
How can I?
Is it supposed to be a ranged check? If you're throwing?
If I'm hurling items, it's a discipline check combined with a move power that deals damage equal to 10 times the silhouette.
Right.
Okay, so I can grab them and throw them.
But we're not trying to do damage.
But I'm not trying to do damage. Yeah. Okay. Do you want a discipline check with it also?
Let's get the discipline check with it.
I was gonna say I can do discipline also, and
are we doing a combined force check?
Sweet.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I have move as well. So
let's do a combined force check.
Okay.
So whoever has the higher will with whoever has the higher discipline.
All right.
I have 3 will.
I have 2 will.
Okay.
With 2 yellows.
Great. So it's going to be 2 yellows and 1 green, and 3 force dice.
Flip to upgrade.
4. You should, because you have all the light side points right now. Add an extra force die.
Okay.
For blue.
So 3 yellows, 4 light side.
What distance? I think it's at least medium range, so it's going to be hard.
Okay. 3 purple. Are you flipping on us, Mark?
I'm not. I want to hold on to that dark side point.
It shows that you have 2.
I only see 1.
Really?
Yeah, I'm seeing 2 as well.
Oh. No, I want to hold on to both those dark side points.
Oh, no.
Okay. So 3 yellow, 4 side dice, and versus 3 purple. Discipline check. As we group hurl people down the causeway to safety. 5 successes, 3 threats, 1 triumph, 4 light, 1 dark.
Okay. As you do this, Anames, you can feel Blue reaching out in the force, and their untrained skill just drawing the dark side of this place in. Is Mir also throwing himself? What is
He wasn't planning on it.
You were planning on it?
He was not planning on throwing himself. No.
Okay. So what happens? What does this look like here?
Mir sees them all three sees Blue and Anames grabbing onto Addy, pulling him along. Mir, with his hand, shoves from behind all three of them down the causeway. His intent is to get them to safety.
Mm-hmm.
I think he feels the bond of the Force, feeling the will of the Force, as Anames wells up with the Force and Blue wells up with the Force to go to safety. So all three of their intents are the same. How does Anames feel? Because that's enough with Mir's power to increase in range and control.
Anames is trying to get herself, Blue, and Addy to safety, and if Mir will come with, she would love to bring Mir with. Because Mir helped. And clearly Mir seems to have a decent head on his shoulders.
So I could see almost a slingshot as the three get propelled and the will of Anames grabbing Mir and yarding him with.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anames reaches back and brings Mir along. And with those three threats, none of the Kyber.
Oh, that's so good. Dang. No!
The four of you collect yourselves in this hallway. The rumble of this pyramid floating. You can see down at the ground where there's now space between the ground and where this thing sits in the air. The stones from above, the pieces of Duracrete and bits of the city from above continue to rain down, and as they do, they hit the large floodlights on the ground, and other lights high up illuminating this space begin to fall or go out, and the lighting from inside glows brighter and brighter in the darkening space. The electricity from the tines at the top spreads out on the platform, and you hear shouts and laughter, wild laughter of Selyar Sanlev as he comes out from those stairs, and the electricity just sort of follows him as he walks and makes a path behind him. And it's like he and Brentha Gregor don't even notice as the ceiling begins to collapse on them. The first bits come down on the Kyber that is further away from you, the Kyber that you did not move. As it collapses on there, the lights in these geometric shapes crack and spread and then go out. Is there anything you want to do before the ceiling comes down on this pyramid?
I think it's probably out of Aname's reach. I don't think there's anything she can do at this point.
Can Mir activate his device and chuck it down to make a bubble around some of the crystals that are left?
A bubble? Remind me what this device does.
This device creates a force field.
Was that like a triumph or something?
Yeah, it was. I don't remember if it was a triumph, but it was a finder, and opposed to us making it into an arc welder or anything like that, or a lightsaber, we decided to go use like a shield generator.
Wow. Yeah. What do you do?
Mir, as he feels the crack of the Coruscant Kyber one by one getting snuffed out, he feels the pull of the one that he has, and I think the Korra, the Kyber, cries family, and I think at that moment It's almost as if on his own, on the will of the Kyber, he throws the activated device to save some of them, create almost like just one personal Silhouette Zero bubble around them, insulating them from being crushed.
He does that, and he sees the cracks spread like vines across the ceiling of this large chamber. The last of the lights go out, and he hears and feels but does not see the ceiling come down. And then it's all quiet.
Anames holds Blue and Addie close.
You can feel Addie crying in the dark.
I'm sorry tonight didn't go the way you hoped.
And Blue is quiet.
I know you didn't want it to end like this. I wish I had been wrong, but I'm glad you're both still alive.
Mir pops open one of his little chambers and flicks on a light. With the state of the world as it is, I don't think it's wise for us to stay here any longer than we have to. We need to get away from here as fast as we can, as far from these dims as you can.
We can go back to my apartment.
Now, do you have any place safer than your apartment that they don't know of?
Let me make a call.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Coruscant Nights. Thank you to AJ and Rill for playing. You can find AJ's art on Instagram at AJ_Kimball. And you can find all of us on the Nightcast Discord, a friendly community of Star Wars fans and gamers.